How did I get here?
Hello guys, I'm Amarkam. This is a quick tutorial on how to create a database and insert a table in the database and apply some SQL queries on it. So first of all, you want to make sure that you have localhost enabled. As you can see here, you should have this page. Now if you don't have it, you can download it from appserver.org, which is Apache, which is from here, download, and then you come here, you download this one, which is from 2016. So after you after you open localhost, we wanna go to the my PHP admin, password and username root, password I put root. So here's what you get, PHP my admin. So to create a database, you click on new, or you click on database, and then you click your database name, let's say test, create, and then now we want to create a table. Let's say student, for example. Let's say the number of columns is 3, press go, and then you have it, let's say ID, and maybe name and major. Now name for sure is var character, it's not integer. Now integer, ID integer. Now if we press save, it will say that you should enter a valid length. So in var character you should enter a length, which is for example 244. Insert. Okay. Now this is your. Now if you press on browse structure, yeah, this is your table. This is the first column, second, and third. Now of course it's actually empty. Now to enter some values, click on insert, and then you enter the value that you want to insert. Let's say for example 111, name Amr, let's say CS as a major. Now you can press go, or you can just complete inserting. Let's maybe insert more. Let's say major CIS. Let's press go. Now I have inserted the values. Now if you press on browse, you can see it. So we wanna actually, now if you wanna actually print it as a PDF, you can actually press on export as PDF. You click on go. Yeah, now you can save it. As you can see, this is the table that we have created. Database test, table is student, and this is our table. So now let's maybe applicate some SQL queries on this one, on this table. So we want to go to app server, you have to go to www. Now you create a folder here. I've already created a folder with some examples, and this is it. So first thing we want to actually try is, let's go to data. Yeah, first thing we want to do is the HTML for data. So we want to actually create this combo box where actually you click on maybe name, ID, or star. So this what it should be. It should show the database, which we use the SQL query, which is select, and this is the PHP. So what we want to actually do, first we get the select from name. We already did type name select, so we can use it here, and so this one can return the select from here, which is value ID or name or major, or it can be this. But we have to actually create a value. Alright. So now we have the query, which is select. Now this returns, maybe if I clicked ID or star, this one can be returned into this, and then from table name. What is the table name? The table name is student. As we can see here, the table name is student. And now we want to actually connect. We use MySQL connect. It takes 3 statements, which is the server name, which is localhost, username, and password. Password is root. Now we click here die, so it can stop the process if it couldn't connect to the database. And we select the database, which database we want to actually get, which is MySQL select database, which our database is named test, as we did name it, and we want to send the database. Now after we have specified which database we went, which is test, now we can maybe applicate some queries, which we are doing here. MySQL query, we send the query, we type the query and the database. Now the query, what is the query here? Select this one, it can be ID or name or major from table student. So result here will be actually a table that has the query that we have actually inserted. So MySQL close, here we close the database, and now we want to print out the query, the result which we got from the query, which is the insert, the select query. Now to insert it, to print it, we already know we should use the MySQL fetch row. So we put our first row in row, and then we print it as value, which is as array, and then we print it all. Now let's maybe try it out. Data. Now let's maybe select ID, for example. We want to print the ID. If we print send query, it actually shows the result of the ID. Now if we go back and select this one, which is selecting all the database, we press send query, it actually shows all the table. Okay, so maybe let's now try the insert. I have a form for that, which is takes the ID, name and major. Here's the HTML. Now of course we should specify the action, so we know which database should be used after we click the insert, which does the submit. And this is when we actually press on submit, which is insert here. It actually opens this and it applicates it. And here we MySQL connect, we put the username and password, select database test. Now what we did here is that we put the ID and name, which is this ID that the user has inserted, and the name and the major. We put it inside the variables so we can use it in the query. And the query for insert, which is insert into student, which is the table name, and then we put which columns we want to actually put inside it a table values, which is ID, name, major. What is the values that we want to put inside it, inside the columns, which is the ID, name, major, which we got from the user, from here, from the HTML. So we want to actually applicate the query, and then we want to print it out and select. How to print it? We print it in select as we did in the last example here. So let's try it out maybe. So you should insert the ID. I'll insert my ID, AA, major, let's say software engineer, insert. Now why did we get this? Why it couldn't read the PHP file? Because we are not working on the server. We should be working on the server so it can read the PHP file. This 2, we're working on insert, let's say 17, okay, name, major, software engineer. Let's press insert. Okay, so I inserted it twice because I clicked insert twice. Should have only clicked it once. So anyway, So here we got insert. We did learn how to insert. Now if we refresh, yeah, I did insert it twice because I did click insert 2 times in a row. Yeah, this is it. Should only do it once. Okay. So anyway, let's go to delete. I have a form for that too. Delete student. Now this is the form of delete. You insert the student name that you want to delete. Let's say this. When you press on delete student, it instantly deletes the student. And here's the PHP file for it. What we did here is that we put an attribute T. It takes the post I, which is here. It takes the input, for example my ID, and we applicate the query, which is delete from student. Student is the table. Delete from table name, where ID, here we put the condition where ID equals the ID that we did insert in the form. And then we applicate the query by typing my SQL query, and we put the query that we want to applicate, and then we put the database, which database we want to actually applicate the query on, the table. So here let's test it out. Yeah, this is it. We are not working on the server, so we have to work on the server. Localhost this2. We are working on delete. Let's type the student name. Let's say this one. Now what it should delete? It should delete all of these because it has this ID. Let's press delete. Yeah. Now if we press refresh, it did delete it. Why? Because it has my ID. So now let's go to update. It's the last query that I'm going to give. Now here's what I've given here. Let's go to localhost. Okay, so what we're gonna do here is that we wanna update. This is the form that I insert the ID that I want to change. He's major, so I insert the ID. For example, if I put 111, I can put major, let's say CIS. Now when I press update, what it should do? It should go to ID 111 and it should change the major to CIS. Let's see the HTML code. This is the HTML code. It has the ID, which is we put name I, and the name here M for major, and the submit, which is the update, and here's the database update PHP. We get the ID and the major. Okay, so the query says for updating we should use this syntax, which is update the table name, update student, set, we set the value. What value do we want to insert? Insert and updated with the other one, which is major equals major. Now major is the attribute, is the column, and I want to set the column major and put inside it this one, where I put the condition. The condition is ID equals ID. So it searches for student, this is the table, and it set the in the major, it set in the major, it sets the value, it sets the value here, it updates it with what? With the ID, where ID equals ID. So for example, if I put here 111, it searches for the ID 111 and it changes its major. This is what it means. This is that syntax. And as usual, I print it out, which is using select statement to print the student. Select all and we print it out. So let's try it. Let's refresh this. Okay. So 111 CIS. Let's make it maybe this thing. Let's click update. Okay. Localhost this2. Let's go to update form. Let's type 111. We want to change the major to testing. Update. Yeah, they changed it. Here it is after the update. Let's press refresh. Now the measure has been changed, as we have seen here. If I want to change 222 to maybe whatever, anything, software update, yeah, it changes it to update. We can change that for every measure. For ID, you can change it to every measure that has software. Change the manager to, let's say, something in CS. Now here, what should it do? It goes to update student, the table student. It sets the value major for the column major. For the column major, it searches for the column major, which is this, and it changes the value that after applying the condition, it changes the value to CS. It searches for major software. So here it searches for software, it goes to major software, let's refresh, software, which is here, software, and then it changes it to what? To CS. It changes that to CS. Let's try it out, maybe. Now it doesn't matter here because I did change it from here. Let's press update. Yeah, it should change it now to CS, and they did change it to CS. Now this is the SQL queries that we have in the PHP, and thank you guys for watching.